ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नित्यभ नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यभागवतसेवया भागवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Hare Krishna. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 18. Parikshit Maharaj cursed by Brahmana boy. So we have discussed the subject of this first part. We covered five shlokas, and we will continue our discussion from shloka number 5 to 10 today. This majorly focuses on Parikshit Maharaj's birth, death, dealing with Kali. We discussed up to the glorious death, dedication to Lord's topic, and remembrance of Krishna. We discussed up to this. Now, in this today's class, let us discuss shloka number 5 to 10, where we see Kali could not flourish in Parikshit's rule. Parikshit saw good quality of Kali, Kali's ineffectiveness on devotees, and importance of Harikatha. Let us go to the shloka. So, in the fourth shloka, just to give a brief, Uttama shloka vartanam jushatam tat katamritam syat sambramanto kalepi smaratam tat padambujam. Parikshit Maharaj had a lifelong practice of hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord. As soon as he understood that he would be killed by snake bird, he focused on the prime duty, which is Nityam Bhagavata Sevya, which means lifelong service of hearing and chanting. Na Uttama Shloka Vartana Jushatam Katam Tat Katamritam. It is to hear about the topics of him and then remembering. So if you see this translation, of whom the Vedic hymn sings, who are constantly engaged remembering the lotus feet of Lord, do not run the risk of having misconceptions even at the last moment of their life. Therefore, Parikshit Maharaj did not have any misconception. He just went ahead hearing about the glories of the Lord. This means Nityam Bhagavata Sevya, he has adapted. He has adapted chanting and hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord. And because of Parikshit Maharaj, Srimad Bhagavatam has come. Repeated hearing, prolonged hearing instills Krishna in our heart. In conditioned state, our constant thought is sense gratification. In devotional and liberated state, it is Krishna. This prolonged and repeated hearing is a secret of remembering Krishna at the time of death. Let us go to the fifth shloka. Tavat kalena pravavet pravishto api sarvatah sarvatah ya disho mahan urvyam abhimanyava ekarat. As long as great powerful son of Abhimanyu remains the emperor of the world, there is no chance that the personality of Kali will flourish. The purport is very important here. As we have already explained, the personality of Kali had entered the jurisdiction of this earth long ago, and he was looking for an opportunity to spread this influence all over the world. But he could not do so satisfactorily due to the presence of Maharaj Parikshit. That is the way of good government. The disturbing elements like the personality of Kali will always try to extend their nefarious activities, but it is the duty of able state to check them by all means. Although Maharaj Parikshit allotted places for personality of Kali, at the same time he gave no chance for citizens to be swayed by personality of Kali. Parikshit Maharaj was able to curb the spread of Kali by engaging everyone in his kingdom in hearing and chanting the holy name of Lord. Kali was actually looking for a place where he can sneak in. Parikshit Maharaj made his kingdom and governance so tight that he could not sneak. Sometimes during festival seasons, our devotees get really busy and they get no chance to hear and chant the holy names. They get this fundamental doubt if I should sit in class and hear or go do the service. We need to block time for hearing and chanting and for service. It is like asking a question like, should I take water or prasada? We should do both. We should take prasada and then after some time we should take water. We need to do both. We have to hear the class to get remembrance, and when you do service, you understand and realize the importance of service. Some people are too service oriented. They do not hear enough and read enough. Their mind is filled with thoughts of management, calculation, and services and anxieties. All the time, their minds are hyperactive. On the other hand, if a person hears for a prolonged period of time, studies, memorizes, then remembrance becomes very easy. We need to study on regular basis. By doing this regularly, we get maturity of remembrance. Then even if we are put in the management position, we will internally have the quality of hearing and chanting, remembering and relishing the topics of Krishna consciousness. We need to have this practice in our life. The point is that we should study Srimad Bhagavatam such that it sinks in our heart. It is not simply following the rules of filling the time, but really getting engrossed in topics of Srimad Bhagavatam in this time when we allot it for studies. Whatever we study, we should take notes, we should share, we should remember and relish it with others. This makes remembrance very deeper. There is one interesting shloka in 10th canto, Shri Rukmanya Vacha Shrutva Gunan Bhavana Sundara Shanvatam Te Nirvisya Karna Vivare Arato Angatapam Rupam Darsham Drishimatam Akilartha Labam Tvaye Achyutta Avisati Chittam Apatram Pame. She Rukmini said in her letter, as read by the Brahmana, O beauty of worlds, having heard of your qualities which enter the ears of those who hear and remove their bodily distress, and having also heard of your beauty which fulfills all visual desires of those who see, I have fixed my shameless mind upon you, O Krishna. Rukmini Mata would hear from sage Narada who would come to court of Bhishmaka. First she hears about Krishna and then she hears about the wonderful qualities, wonderful pastimes. She was attracted by these descriptions. She was attentive in the class and she would never miss the class every day. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura in this specific area makes a point that Lord Krishna took the note of how attentive and regular she was in the class. Krishna then stole her heart. Krishna's name is Manohar, one who steals our heart. This makes one become mad of Krishna. One will then become Krishnamaya. We will be filled with Krishna's thought. Srila Prabhupada was Krishnamaya. He was always thinking about, speaking about, planning and giving Krishna to all. He was focused on spreading Krishna conscious movement all over the world. Rukmini also became like this. She told Krishna, either I will marry you or I will die. The last verse in Rukmini's letter to Krishna is यस्याङ्घ्रिपङ्कजरजस्नप्नं महन्तो वाञ्छन्ति उमा पतिरिवात्मतमो अपय अपहत्यै यर्हि अम्बुजाक्षनलभ्ये भवत्प्रसादां जह्याम् असुन्व्रतकषां शतजन्मभिः स्यात्. O lotus-eyed one, Great souls like Lord Shiva anchor to bathe in the dust of your lotus feet and thereby destroy their ignorance. If I cannot obtain your mercy, I shall simply give up my vital force, which will become weak from the severe penances I will perform. Then, after hundreds of lifetime of endeavor, I may obtain your mercy. She is saying that the dust of lotus feet of is aspired by Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma to eradicate their ignorance. Therefore, I am ready to wait for hundreds of years. Rukmini Mata is telling she is unqualified and that she is simple girl, so do not. She, Lord Krishna, need not have to mistake for asking for the dust of his lotus feet. Uh, Rukmini Mata is ready to do any tapasya to get dust of Krishna's lotus feet. She's saying, I am ready to do any tapasya to have Krishna as her husband. If Krishna does not agree to the proposal, then Rukmini Mata will give up her life. Um, the Rukmini Mata is also telling, oh Krishna, you will tell to me to marry Sisupal, but I will instead die and you will find me dead. The one pointed attraction of Rukmini attracted Krishna. That point is made in the translation of Srimad Bhagavatam, um, the previous sloka. न उत्तमश्लोकवर्तानां जुषतां तत्कथामृतं स्यात् सम्भ्रमन्तकालेऽपि स्मरतां तत्पदाम्बुजम्. There should not be any misconceptions, even at the last moment of life. We should be focused only on hearing about it, and there should not be any doubt of any sorts. Okay, so we should have systematic hearing and chanting of glories of the Lord for prolonged and repeated schedule so that remembrance is automatic and constant. Producing remembrance in our mind is in Krishna's hand. Krishna has to see our quality and sincerity to wake up our remembrance. So these shlokas are all very important shlokas. Let us go to the next one, shloka number 6. Yasmin ahani yasmin arani यस्मिन् अहानि हरि एव भगवान् उत्सस्रजा काम तदेव अनुव्रतो तदेव हानुव्रतो स्वा अधर्म प्रभव कलि अधर्म प्रभव कलि यस्मिन् अहानि हरि एव भगवान् उत्सस्रजागाम तदेव अनुव्रतो अस्वा adharma prabhava kali. The very day and the moment the personality of God, Lord Shri Krishna, left this earth, the personality of God who promotes all kind of religious activities came into this world. The success of a temple lies in how many Shravanam Kirtanam programs we put in our locality. For example, we must have Kids Kirtan Mela, 24 hours Kirtan on Ekashi Day, Krishna Rasayanam program, Ramayanam discourse, Vidyapeeth classes, Bhakti Vaibhav classes, Bhakti Shastri classes, different lecture programs, then visiting Vaishnava program, Harinam Sankirtan, Nagar Sankirtan program. These type of programs will ensure that the life in the temple is sustained. If we do not this, then Vigraha becomes Galagraha. There is one interesting uh, lecture in which Prabhupada is telling, suppose no more Vigraha, but Galagra, there is a good opportunity. So we should not think, if we think that here is a stone statue, then it will not prolong many days. It will not. Galagraha, no more Vigraha, but Galagraha. Suppose I have established this temple. Now, under my direction, my disciples are worshipping Vigraha. Vigraha means form of God, form of Lord, Rupa. But if there is no following of regulative principles, then after my death, it will become Galagraha, a burden. that our rascal Guru Maharaj established this temple and we have to worship early rise in the morning, all botheration. This will be, that is called as Galagraha, a burden he has left. He has left with us burden. This is the risk. Then this such a big temple will be mismanaged, and you will find that this is breaking and that is unclean. There is no attention. This will be ours. That is called as Galagraha. The rascal has given us burden. The Vigraha will become burden to maintain. So Shravanam Kirtanam should become solid. There must be rock solid program. This should be the motto of the temple management. Due to overloading of services, the Bhagavatam classes are curtailed to only 40 minutes in some temples. The chanting is only 90 minutes because they have to clean the temple. After 75 minutes only, they will ask to leave the chanting hall to start the cleaning. They are not aware of inside cleaning. There must be one more hall where we can go and continue our chanting. While they clean the main hall, chanting continues in the chanting hall. Therefore, it would be a good idea to clean when everything is over. Usually, we should give 2 hours before chanting is completed and do the cleaning. We should not fear to keep long hearing and chanting programs. Temples which choke the chanting and hearing will have longer management meetings. So hearing program has to be made longer. Even if there is a meeting, there should be kirtan at the beginning and at the end. Then in between have Krishna Katha. Then management meeting will be completed in 10 minutes. This is because there is no Kali and hence very good understanding within devotees. In spiritual world, nobody has to be pushed. Everybody is inspired by Krishna and they come running to see Krishna. In early days, Vishnu Jana Swami Maharaj, he used to go to newer streets as one man kirtan party. Then 60 people will join him. Then managers had a major problem that there is no one to do seva. He would go for a couple of hours and come back and sit in the car. And then once again he would chant Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada used to say that Kirtan of Vishnu Jan Swami is wonderful. Take him to studio and record. Uh, and Srila Prabhupada wanted to play Mridanga for him. Srila Prabhupada told, this is like Vaikunta. Srila Prabhupada personally praised Vishnu Jana Swami. Srila Prabhupada told that this Maharaj is singing exactly like him. And this Maharaj used to do Kirtan, everyone will join him for Nagar Sangeeta. When he allocates the service, he would say, Mataji, you go ahead to kitchen, clean the floor, for Krishna's pleasure. Prabhu, you go do Sankirtan room cleaning, arrange the books for Krishna's pleasure. After allotting the work, he would continue the Kirtan. He managed the temple like that only. This is Sankirtana management. The amazing thing was that service was happening in the temple also, and devotees went on Harinam also. They would distribute the books. Some days they would do Kirtan 5 to 6 hours. And 1 hour kirtan and then half an hour reading from Krishna book, then 1 hour kirtan, half an hour reading from Krishna book. Like this, Vishnujan Swami Maharaj used to do kirtan management of temple. So Sankirtan would make us light. Only management will make us tight and heavy. Tight means tight-hearted. We would not be blossomed. So essence of good management means good kirtan goes on uninterrupted. When we leave temple campus or devotee association, the effect of Kali can be immediately felt. So, Nityam Bhagavata Sevya can only protect us. Sometimes we get into tendency to compare senior devotees in terms of behavior and dealings. How to overcome this mentality? This is something which many devotees have questioned. This comes from the basic habit or tendency to judge others. The easiest way is to keep the eyes always low. Do not look into the details of behavior of other devotees too much. We can judge people only based on talk, speech, movements of person. Other important thing we need to see is our self improvement, our own self improvement. We should not worry much about others' improvement. Two things: keep your eyes low, focus on your improvement. This attitude will evaporate the judging tendency. Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Bible tells that as we advance in spiritual life, we become more and more humble, focus on our own faults rather than judging others. And in Kulashekara Alva's Mukundamala Stotra, Kulashekara Alva says that, please take me to you, O Lord. Current mundane songs put what all should be available when we leave the body. Okay, so it looks like at times Srila Prabhupada would hear it and he would get fired up. But now we hear so many things, but that enthusiasm is not there. Hmm. People will get fired up when Srila Prabhupada tells, but now that fire is not there. We need to get up and act enthusiastically. Jai Advait Swami answered it one time. Vaisheshika Prabhu once told after class, go out with books. Many were afraid to distribute. Then he said, where did I ask you to distribute the books? Just touch the road and come back. This is good beginning. Next day, you will cross the road and show the book and come back. Once you start showing the books will be sold. Do not get into the bad habit of going out without any book. Therefore, always start small. By mercy of Krishna, things will expand. Hearing, can this be only pastimes? How hearing only philosophy without pastimes can produce remembrance of Krishna? Bhagavad Gita has lot of philosophy. We should be grateful to Krishna for revealing the truth. When you read Bhagavad Gita, you will get Srimad Bhagavatam realization. This is this is the realization of many great devotees. We need to read Bhagavad Gita regularly, then realizations of Srimad Bhagavatam will come automatically. Krishna is same in both Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. In Kurukshetra and Vrindavan, we have the same Krishna. There are five tattva or five philosophical points in Bhagavad Gita. They are like Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, Karma. In Bhagavad Gita, the middle six chapters are like jam. First six chapters are like the bread, and the last six chapter is also like a bread. So in the bread jam combination, the middle which is middle part, which is the jam, is the sweetest of all, and we would like the most. This means middle six chapters are like nectar. We need to read them meticulously. This is like Srimad Bhagavatam given in the form of sutras or rules. These chapters talk about Bhakti, Bhagavan, and Bhakta. To get an opportunity to read and study Srimad Bhagavatam, we must be really very blessed. In one of the support, in the one of the purports, Srila Prabhupada writes, when the devotee of the Lord is blessed and favored by Lord, then one gets an opportunity to sit and study Srimad Bhagavatam peacefully. So whoever sits and reads Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, is favored by the glance of deities of temple. See, so we have Shri Gandharvika Girdhari, Shri Gaurahari, Shri Lakshmi Narasimha, then we have Bhaktavatsala Balaji. If there is a drive from our heart that this is too much, we should stop here and we need to do some other work. These are coming like a Rajo and Tamoguna. This propensity should be curbed. This propensity goes against the mercy of the Lord. The Lord is welcoming with both the arms that please come here, but we want to get pulled away by lower modes. This hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam is highly Sattva-guna activity. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Kali Yuga is known as Nissattva. Kali Yuga is characterized by Rajo and Tamo Guna in advance. So when we stop reading Srimad Bhagavatam, we are in Tamo and Rajoguna. If we have to make our mind our authority, mind will tell us to Maya. Maya will slit our throat. So we should resist this lower nature and we have to persist in Sattva Guna. This is like Ganges who persists in her path to Lord. It is constantly moving towards Lord. She goes over rocks, meanders, trees, and reaches ocean. So when mind drags us away from Srimad Bhagavatam, take association of devotee who give us enthusiasm to continue reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Let us go to the seventh shloka. नानुद्वेष्टि कलिं सम्राट् सारंग एव सारभुक् कुशलानि आशु सिद्ध्यन्ति नेतराणि कृतानि यत्. Maharaj Parishit was a realist, like the bees who only accept the essence of the flower. He knew perfectly well that in this age of Kali, auspicious things produce good effects immediately, whereas inauspicious acts must be actually performed to render effects. So he was never envious of personality of Kali. Why should Parishit Maharaj be envious of Kali? If we think carefully, Kali was doing work which is opposite of what Parishit Maharaj is doing. Parishit Maharaj was follower of Yudhishthir Maharaj. By following principles of Yudhishthir Maharaj, Parishit Maharaj wants to spread Krishna consciousness. Parishit Maharaj is devotee of Krishna who wants to see whole world filled with devotees of Krishna. Kali is doing just the opposite. He is trying to pull leg of people and degrade them to the four bad habits. Kali Yuga is also characterized by hypocrisy. When people collectively come there, they quarrel. So Kali is characterized by quarrel and hypocrisy. Kali Yuga is also characterized by rebellion and independent mentality. Rebellion means rebellion against superiors and independent mentality, speech, thought, and action in doing activities whimsically. These kind of bad qualities were infiltrated into the world by Kali. Parishit Maharaj should naturally get upset by this, but he did not get. So in this shloka, it is said that he is not getting envious of Kali. This is because there are two types of people. One is realist, another one is idealist. Idealist is the one who talks of lofty ideologies which are not practical according to time, place, and circumstances. Example, when Srila Prabhupada went to US, some of the Indians who were in US asked Srila Prabhupada, how can you make a church or a flat into a temple? A typical Gopuram, that Indian temple, is supposed to be there. But Srila Prabhupada, Gopuram is not there, but whatever should happen in the temple is happening. That is Srila Prabhupada's realism. This is realist. Indians were all idealists. Idealists focus in too much of detail. Therefore, actual purpose for which the organization was started is not served. Example, when Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati sent three of his disciples to London, they couldn't preach. They came back. They had understanding of how Krishna consciousness has to be propagated. That was like traditional or typical approach. Traditional approach is that we call people for discourses in Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam. They have what is called as Saptaha, where morning 3 hours and evening 3 hours is spent on giving lecture. This is typical in India, but when we go to London, how we are going to reach people, it cannot be the same traditional approach. In London, people are educated. Uh, no, they had strong understanding of Christian principles. If we demand qualification from them, they won't come because they are not qualified to hear Vedic scriptures. So the disciples of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada, they came back. When Srila Prabhupada sent three couples to London, we could see their staunch faith in the holy name on the order of Guru. This ensured that they met George Harrison. Through George Harrison and the music that he produced, lot of goodwill came to ISKCON. People would take Krishna book and they would see George Harrison's letter. George Harrison is recommending this book. This is a good book, and immediately they would buy the book. Nobody knew who Krishna was and what his pastimes were, but they simply took the books. In fact, people had cynical view of Puranas, and India. George Harrison, when he writes that all you need is love, he, everybody accepted it. And further, he signed below that note about Krishna book. One thing which helped sell this Krishna book was George Harrison. Furthermore, he prepared the album about Krishna and movement became very famous. So the devotees took upper hand over Kali in London. They even got George Harrison's building. The manor, the Bhakti Vedanta manor, was previously called as Nugget Manor. Instead of focusing on what they do not have, they preach Krishna conscious very powerfully. This is a saying, this is like a saying that a good dancer does not blame the stage, a good cook does not blame the utensil, a good preacher does not blame the area where he was sent. He has to focus on what I should do in this situation. So Srila Prabhupada was a realist. He was always thinking what he should do to propagate Krishna conscious movement. According to him, time, place, and circumstances, he selected the right option and pushed the Krishna conscious movement. Thus, he was realist. In this shloka, the second part is very interesting. Kushalani asu siddhyanti netrani kirtani yat. Kirtani, not kirtani. Kirtani yat. Kirtani means being performed. Kirtani means action. When sinful acts are not done, then sinful thoughts do not fructify. Renuka, who was wife of Jamadagni, was punished by Jamadagni. Jamadagni told Parashuram to cut the head of Renuka. The reason was some impure thought. Renuka went to bring water from Ganges and saw King of Gandharvas enjoying the company of Apsaras. And she was captivated and she slightly desired to associate with him. She just saw the reflection of Gandharva king. For that, her head was cut. Now imagine how many times our head should get cut for such sinful thoughts. None of us will have heads. So the major benediction in Kali Yuga is that sinful thoughts should be acted upon to become really punishable. Auspicious and pious thoughts produce significant results even if we do not act upon them. Kushalani ashu siddhyanti. So to produce spiritual effect, we just have to think about the spiritual activity. If somebody thinks that if I were a millionaire, I would have donated $1 million to this temple. If he desires that it is as good as giving. Therefore, in Kali Yuga, giving compliments to devotees, appreciate Vaishnavas. If we do this liberally, it is a good way of rendering service. Sometimes we say he is a speak talker, but he does not do. But instead of that, we should just say he is a sweet talker. If we say that we will distribute millions of books during our book marathon, then it is equal to doing it. This is amazing that desiring is equal to doing in Kali Yuga. Sinful acts, we get reactions only when we do it. This is the blessing of the Lord and very special mercy of Kali Yuga also. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, in other ages, simply by thinking of performing a sinful act, one used to become victim of the act. So there are verses in Srimad Bhagavatam which also prices the glories of Kali. Parishit Maharaj knew well that Kali will flourish if we stock gold. He did not allow anyone to stock gold, which is equal to stocking Kali. He used all the wealth for Sankirtan movement. Srila Prabhupada always told, you collect lakhs of rupees, spend lakhs of rupees, use all money in Krishna service. Then Kali cannot flourish. Parishit Maharaj ensured that there are no liquor shop, no slaughterhouses, no animal killing, and no prostitution centers, no gambling centers. This means no people can break the four regulatory principles. Thus, by ensuring that everyone followed four regulatory principles, spent all money in Sankirtan movement, There was no chance for Kali to penetrate. And Prabhupada is making one important point here. In the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is also said that by recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam, the Supreme Lord becomes at once arrested within one's heart. These are some of the great advantages of age of Kali. And Maharaj Parishit took all the advantages and did not think any ill of the age of Kali, true to his Vaishnavite culture. The Sanskrit word for arrest is sadhyo hridi avarudyate. So if I go to Dharma projita kaitavo atra paramo nirmat shatanam shatam परमो निर्मत शराणाम शताम वेद्यम अत्र वस्तु शवदान तापो त्रयोन्मूलन श्रीमद् भागवते महामुनिकते किंबा परैरीश्वरा सद्यो अवरुध्यते हृदि अवरुध्यते means within the heart becomes compact, arrest within the heart. Tatra Kritibi Shushrushubi Tachana, completely rejecting all religious activity, which are material motor. This Bhagavata Purana proclaims highest truth, which is understood by devotees who are fully pure at heart. The highest truth is a reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. This beautiful Bhagavatam, compiled by great sage Vyasadeva in its maturity, is sufficient in itself for God realization. What is the need of any other scriptures? As soon as one attentively and submissively hears the message of Bhagavatam, by this culture of knowledge, Supreme Lord is established in the heart. So just by reading Srimad Bhagavatam, we can arrest Lord in our heart. Parishit Maharaj established Srimad Bhagavatam study circles everywhere in the world. When we go to our Srimad Bhagavatam distribution, then our first aim should be to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam profusely. Once everyone has Srimad Bhagavatam in their homes, then we do what? We organize Srimad Bhagavatam study circles where 8 to 10 people can come together, organize Srimad Bhagavatam study circle. This we can understand from the purport of Srimad Bhagavatam by Srila Prabhupada. Parishit Maharaj did two things: Harinam Sankirtan in the street and Srimad Bhagavatam study circles in every nook and corner. There are three advantages of Kali Yuga. One is auspicious things will produce good effects immediately. Inauspicious acts must be performed. Third one, reading Srimad Bhagavatam will give us tremendous benefit. And the third one is doing Nagar Sankirtan will eradicate Kali. So these are three important things, key takeaways that we get from this shloka. Just going back to the right now we are seeing Kali could not flourish in Parikshit Maharaj's rule, and Parikshit saw good quality of Kali. We will discuss the rest of the next part of this shloka in our next part of this section in our next class, because there is a much more deep diving required in the shlokas 8, 9 and 10. And these are very interesting shlokas which would help us understand how Parishit Maharaj's mood and Srila Prabhupada's mood are comparable. Thank you very much. I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhayascha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल, हरि हरि, हरे कृष्णा।